Most people walk into a supermarket and assume the beef on the shelves meets some sort of trustworthy standard. The packaging looks clean, the labels look official, and the imagery, rolling fields, farm gates, green hills, is designed to convince you the meat comes from happy British cattle. But the reality behind supermarket beef is far darker, far cheaper, and far more deceptive than the packaging ever admits. If you buy beef from these 5 UK supermarkets, you're buying into a system that hides its sourcing, masks its quality, and relies on the fact that you'll never look closely enough to question it. The first supermarket on this list is M&S, and this one surprises people. Marks & Spencer markets itself as premium, ethical, high welfare and farm fresh. But the beef behind the branding tells a very different story. What looks premium on the shelf is often just a carefully curated illusion. M&S has been caught multiple times mixing imported beef into products presented as British. Their ready meal and processed beef lines have been quietly sourced from outside the UK, even while the front of the packaging uses British farm imagery. The company's strict Select Farms branding creates the impression of small farms that M&S works closely with. But a significant portion of their beef supply still comes from large, industrial-scale operations that bear no resemblance to the countryside scenes printed on the box. And consumers paying a premium for quality often end up with beef that has travelled further, been processed more heavily, and carries little transparency. The disappointment isn't just the sourcing. It's the fact that M&S sells you the idea of ethical beef at a premium price, then delivers something far cheaper behind the scenes. Next is Co-op, a supermarket that loves to advertise fairness, community, and ethical sourcing. But their beef quality simply doesn't match the image. Co-op's supply chain is notorious for inconsistency, with beef coming from a wide range of suppliers across several countries. Some packs contain decent cuts, while others come from older, poorer quality trimmings blended together to meet weight. Their mince is one of the most frequently criticized products, often described by consumers as watery, mushy, or flavorless. This is a clear sign of beef that has been frozen and thawed multiple times, or processed so heavily that natural texture disappears. Co-op relies heavily on modified atmosphere packaging to keep beef looking artificially red long after its freshness drops. To an untrained eye, the beef looks vibrant and lean, but it's a visual trick created by gas flushing, not quality. Add to that the vague origin labeling, the mixed sourcing, and the slow movement of stock in smaller co-op stores, and you get beef that simply cannot justify the price you're paying. Lidl comes next, and their beef problems are tied directly to the discount model. Lidl has become extremely popular in the UK, but their beef quality has taken a significant hit as the chain expands at breakneck speed. The supermarket sources beef from a wide network of low-cost suppliers around Europe, and the quality varies wildly. Some packs come from young beef cattle, while others include trimmings from older dairy cows, a practice that significantly lowers tenderness and flavour. Lidl's mince regularly receives complaints for releasing pools of liquid when cooked, which is a signature of overworked, cheaply processed beef with extremely high water retention. Their steak cuts frequently show signs of wet aging, a method used to make tougher meat seem tender by soaking it in its own juices inside sealed plastic bags, often at the expense of flavour. And although Lidl does sell some British beef, the volume is nowhere near enough to supply every store nationwide. Imported beef fills the gaps, but the branding doesn't make that obvious. The result is a product that looks trustworthy on the packaging, but offers no guarantee of consistent quality once you get it into the pan. Fourth on the list is Sainsbury's, a supermarket that has slipped dramatically in quality control over recent years. Sainsbury's beef is notorious for being hit and miss, but the real problem is the chain's heavy reliance on low-cost imported beef in their ready meals, frozen products, and value ranges. While the premium lines still use British beef, the cheaper lines often rely on mixed European sourcing that you only discover if you hunt through the fine print. Their beef mince, especially the budget range, frequently suffers from texture issues. Too soft, too watery, and too pale when cooked. This happens when manufacturers bulk out mince with higher fat trimmings or older meat cuts. Shelf rotation problems have also been raised repeatedly by customers, with packs sitting long past their ideal date and beef losing its structure and smell far quicker than it should. Sainsbury's has also been caught using misleading farm names and rustic branding for products that are essentially produced in industrial factories. When you buy beef from Sainsbury's, you're gambling with freshness, sourcing transparency, and basic quality. And then there is Tesco, easily the most controversial supermarket on this list. Tesco has perfected the art of using fake farm branding to disguise the true origin of its beef. Their Boswell Farms line, which customers assume is British, has included beef sourced from Ireland, the Netherlands, and other countries, blended together and packaged with a Union Jack on the front.
Tesco has been criticized for years for using these fabricated farm names to sell imported meat under British imagery. Their beef supply chain is one of the largest and most complex in the UK, and this complexity allows them to blend cuts, mix origins, and use industrial suppliers while maintaining a wholesome countryside-style appearance on the packaging. Many of Tesco's beef mince products are known for their excess water release, tough texture, and lack of flavor, a clear sign of heavy processing. Even their premium lines have been accused of inconsistent quality. Tesco's beef products move in huge volumes, but speed doesn't equal freshness, and the brand's sheer scale means the priority is volume and shelf life, not quality. After tearing through all the supermarket brands that cut corners, blur sourcing, and hide behind marketing, let me give you the 2 beef options in the UK that actually deserve your money. These are the only 2 I recommend consistently because they're transparent, genuinely high quality, and produced with standards supermarkets simply don't come close to matching. The first is Piper's Farm. And if you've never tried their beef, you're about to understand exactly how different real, traditionally raised meat tastes compared to the supermarket version. Piper's cattle are slow-grown, pasture-raised, and slaughtered at natural ages, not pushed through the system at breakneck speed. Their beef is dry-aged, not wet-aged, which means you get depth of flavor instead of the metallic, watery taste mass-produced beef often has. There's no gas packaging trickery, no blended origins, no Dutch or Irish trimmings mixed in. Every pack tells you exactly where it came from, because it doesn't need to hide behind a fake farm name. You're getting true British beef, raised the way it's meant to be raised. The second is the Ethical Butcher, a supplier that has become one of the most respected names in regenerative, high-welfare British meat. Their beef comes exclusively from farms using regenerative agriculture, meaning the cattle aren't just well-treated, they actively improve the land they're raised on. No misleading marketing, no vague sourcing statements, no imported trimmings in sight. Their beef is grass-fed, naturally matured, and handled with standards far above anything a supermarket would pay for. The flavor, the texture, the transparency, it all puts supermarket beef to shame instantly. When you buy from them, you're paying for actual quality, not packaging.